Hello and welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to be talking about the cut command, which is a command that I often use in shell pipelines to do text manipulation stuff. But I want to show you the basics of it and then how you chain it to things like sort and unique, which is what I do most of the time. But anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, so we're going to be using basically two options to cut today. But first, let's make an input file. And I'm just gonna put some text in here. Just to kind of have something to split up. And kind of show you how things work. Okay, so the way cut works, if you do man cut, there are basically two options that are useful. One is -C and the other is -F. There are some other options that allow you to -D. -D and -F. D is the delimiter, it's what it's going to split the string on, and then F is how you select which fields are going to be output. There are, of course, other options, but for the most part, I usually only use D and F. And by default, it takes input either from files or from standard in. So if you were to do cut on input, it of course tells me that I need to do some amount of splitting and delimiting, and those options are -D. So let's say that we're going to delimit based on a colon here. And I think this will still also error, yes. So this will say, I want to split on the colon character. Now, this is kind of a little bit obtuse. You might write it like this to be a little bit more obvious, or like D equals colon. But you technically, I guess you have to do it like this. The delimiter must be a single character. So either D colon or D space colon. I usually write it like this, and if I need to do special characters, such as like a double quote, I will quote the whole argument, or if I need to do, a single quote, I will double quote the argument. If I need to double quote, I will single quote the argument, etc., etc. But in this case, we're going to be using colons here. And then the F selects which fields you're going to select. I believe it is 1 based, so you can't select the 0th field. So by default, it just takes the numbers. Yeah, cut fields are numbered from 1. So by default, it just takes the field numbers. So it's going to split and then essentially grab that chunk from that split array. You can also give it, if we give it 2, you'll see that it has selected this chunk here. What happens if it goes out of bounds? I'm pretty sure it just does nothing. Yeah, so if you're out of bounds, it'll just get an empty string. So this third line here didn't have enough fields, so the third field of this line is empty. Of course, if you go to the 4th field, all of those are empty because these only had 3 fields. Now, what you can also do is you can select ranges of fields. So if we do F2 2 to 3, this will be the 2nd and 3rd field, or let's do 1 and 2, I guess. So the 1st and 2nd field. So this allows you to sub-select this, and maybe you only needed this useful information and wanted to discard this not useful information, you can use that. You can also use open ranges. So if you do 1, or let's do 2 dash, this is going to get from this 2nd field onwards. So this is kind of an open range. Can you do an open range in the other direction? You can. So this is up until the 2nd here. I believe you can also do comma separated as well. So yeah, you can do fields 1 and 3. And so those are kind of the ways that you can select fields. There might be others, but those are the most common ones that I run into. And now I want to show you a practical example where this comes in. So the other day I was, and I found this in my bash history. The other day I was trying to see what is the unique list of packages that are depended on by precommit CI. And in order to do that, I can do an all repos grep for dot in requirements star minimal.txt, I think it was that I wanted to do. This. Yeah, so this gives me all of the different packages that are installed, or that are depended on. But I wanted a unique list of this, and you can see it's comma or it's colon delimited so that I can select fields out of this. So I want the 3rd field here. So we're going to do cut -D colon -F3. And again, colon is our delimiter, and we want our 3rd field. That gets us just the list of packages. Then from that, we can uniqueify them either by doing sort unique which does it like that, or I can use sort-u, which I talked about in the unique video, which I will link in the description. And so you can see this is the unique set of top-level packages that I depend on. Now, of course, I could filter this down further. You can see that, config v is duplicated here because there's greater than or equal to. So I could do something like, cut-d greater than character -f1, and then sort-u, and that'll, further narrow this down. But yeah, you can see that I've now used cut twice in this command. But anyway, yeah, that's just kind of one example. There are many different ways that you could slice this or use other ways with cut. But anyway, that's cut. Hopefully you found this interesting. If there are additional things you would like me to explain, leave a comment below or reach out to me on the various platforms. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.